Hey guys, first of all, sorry for my voice. If you're not one of my students, you don't know this, but I completely lost my voice the other day. So for this video, my voice sounds a little bit scratchy, but that's just how my voice is going to sound. So I just wanted to get that out there real quick. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to read to you some questions for, to review for our science test that we have coming up this week. And so I'm going to read it. I'm going to explain maybe where you could find it in your journal if I think that you might have had something put in your journal. And then when the video pauses and it looks like there's a little thinking circle on your screen, there is a question for you to read and answer. And if you're paying attention and you've been paying attention in class, then this should be no big deal whatsoever. If not, it may take a little bit more thinking on your part. You may want to rewatch like the video of me in Ed Puzzle to let you do that. If you didn't hear what I said or something like that. Excuse me, but just so you know, these are all things that we have gone over. So none of this is brand new stuff. We're just reviewing to make sure that you're ready for the test that we have coming up. So this first one says, drag the names of these objects in order from least mass to greatest mass. So to start right now, let me show you on my screen, just in case you've forgotten what mass is. Now, I know every teacher is a little bit different, so I don't know how y'all's table of contents is, but for me, I always make the students put in their title and their page number and things like that so that we know when we've covered something. But mass is a physical property of matter, so my kids would need to turn to the front and find that page where they've got it. And then you can come back here and you can look. It gives us some information about mass, like how much matter is in something. Over here it tells us that we measure it in grams. And so that should be a reminder to you that it's like the things that we've been putting on the triple beam balance or putting on the digital scale for us to measure. So let me go back to the question again. And again, it says drag the names of these objects in order from least mass to greatest mass. So we have an ant, a quarter, a dictionary, and a rhinoceros. And so the video is going to go ahead and pause, but you're going to pick the one that has them in order. Remember, from least mass, so the smallest mass, to greatest mass, or the largest mass. Okay, here's question number 2. Question number 2, sorry, let me move this out of my way if I can. Question number 2 has this picture of a rubber duck and of a rock. And it says, observe the photos. That means I'm just looking at them, thinking about maybe what I know about a rubber duck or about a rock. And it says, what is the best way to classify the relative densities of the rubber duck and the rock? Again, this is something that you can get help with from your journal. Even on your test, on the day of the actual test, you can get help from your journal. But we have a couple different things about relative density. Everything we did in the mystery lab, the mystery tower lab, this was about relative density. And so we have a card right here, or a word right here. Whether matter sinks or floats in water. And so again, we're talking about a rock and a rubber duck. We also have one here that talked about sink or float, whether matter sinks or floats in water again. So it's just a reminder of what we've done. But let me go back to that question and see what it is that you're going to have to do. What is the best way to classify the relative densities of the rubber duck and the rock? The first one says, measure their masses with a pan balance. The second one says, test their ability to be pulled by a magnet. The third one says, toss them in the air and observe them fall to the ground. And the last one says, place them in a tank of water and observe whether they sink or float. So again, you should know because I've just read those words, but if you can't remember what relative density is, then go back to your journal and look in your journal right now and see what it's talking about. And then your answer should be one of these 4. Okay, number 3 says, drag the properties to match the material. So we have a picture of milk, and it's labeled milk for us, a picture of sugar, a picture of balloons filled with helium, and then we've got these 3 descriptors. One of them says, keeps its size and shape in any container. This one says, takes on the shape and size of its container. And the last one says, takes on the shape of its container, but not the size. So what we should know is helium, sugar, and milk are all different properties of matter. So again, if I just come back and look in my journal, one of the very things here. This one says measuring physical properties. This one just says physical properties in it. So I'm going to start by looking at number 4 and see what I might have about those things. So here we go. Solid, liquid, gas, physical properties. Also, this very next one was just about states of matter. And so it's got stuff about solids, liquids, and gases. Oh, look, here's the stuff it's talking about too. Shape and volume. That's what it was saying. Perfect. So let me go back. Read it one more time to you. It says, drag the properties to match the material. So I've got milk, sugar, and helium. And one of them keeps its size and shape in any container. So I want to know is keeps its size in any shape and, keeps its size and shape in any container. Is that helium, a gas? Is that what sugar or a solid does? Or is that what milk or a liquid would do? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, the second one takes on the shape and size of its container. Again, you're telling me which one that is. And then the last one takes on the shape of its container, but not the size. Okay, number 4. Number 4 says, observe the photo, and it shows a picture of a goldfish in a fish tank. It says, the photo shows fish and bubbles in the water of an aquarium. How many states of matter does the photo show? Remember, there are 3 states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. And so you're trying to tell me, is there just one state of matter in there with the fish? Or is there 2? Or is there all 3 of them? Okay, question number 5 says, what are the examples of solids, liquids, and gases in this picture? So you're going to tell me like the solids that I see are this, or the liquids that I see are this, or the gas or gases that I see are this. You're just telling me what the examples are of each one of those. Again, though, if you don't remember what is what, whoops, I went one page too far, sorry guys. But you can come back into your journal and find the solids, liquids, and gases that we have and look through those and see if that can help you. It should. But yeah, that's what we're going to do for number 5. Okay, number 6. Let me zoom out on number 6 because it's a big one. Yeah. It says, fill in the blanks using the available answer choices and wants us to observe this photo. And so what we should notice in this photo is we've got a magnet, and the magnet has picked up or attracted these safety pins or some kind of pins. And then down here we've got some stuff that it did not or was not attracted to the magnet. It says, which property of the safety pins does the photo show? Select the word that completes the sentence. So it says, the photo shows that the pins are made of blank material. So if we look back up at the picture, we can tell by looking at this picture that these safety pins, that's what these are up here, they are made of what kind of material? Is it heavy material, hot material, dense material, or magnetic material? Okay, question number 7. Let me zoom back in so it's not so tiny anymore. Here we go. 7 says, Brendan classifies 6 objects into 2 groups, and the table below shows his results. So we have group 1 on this side. We have a rubber duck, a paper clip, and a button. On the right side, group 2, they have a tree and a school bus and a ship. It says, what property of matter did Brendan use to classify the 6 objects? So they're saying we don't know why he has group 1 as these and group 2 as these. Is it like all of these are the same color and all of these are the same color? Or is it that all of these have about the same mass, or all of these have about the same mass? Or maybe all of these float and all of these sink, that kind of stuff. So they're trying to get us to figure out why we think he classified them that way. So our choices are that he may have classified them by mass. So again, maybe like this side is the light ones and this side is the heavy ones, or vice versa. Or maybe he sorted them or classified them by relative density. Like maybe all of these over here float and all of these over here sink, or vice versa. Or maybe he did it by magnetism. All of these are magnetic and all of these are non-magnetic. Or again, vice versa. It could be that these are the magnetic ones and these are not. And then the last one is temperature. So does it seem like he may have sorted them based on like these being all the hot ones and these being all the cold ones, or vice versa? So you're telling me why you think Brendan classified them into group 1 and group 2. What do we think he is classifying them or sorting them by. Okay, number 8. Again, we've got the same exact picture up there at the top. Brendan classifies 6 objects into 2 groups, and the table shows his results. We still have the same results, so the rubber duck, the paper clip, and the button, and over here we've got a tree and a school bus and a ship. It says, in which group should Brendan classify an elephant? Select the words to complete the sentence. So, would we say that an elephant should be classified in blank 1? Their options are group 1 or group 2. So first of all, we want to know, would an elephant fit better in this group or in this group? And then you're going to tell me why. Because it is what? So are we saying it belongs in group 1 because it's alive? Or maybe we're saying it belongs in group 2 because it's alive? Maybe because all of those objects in one of those groups is alive? Or are we saying it belongs in group 1 because of the color of it, like the color of it's gray, so it belongs over here with all these gray objects? Or the color of it's gray, and so it belongs to these gray objects? Or is it belonging in one of the groups because it's heavy? So like maybe it belongs in group 1 because it's heavy. Or does it belong in group 2 because it's heavy? So again, you're telling me that it belongs in which one of these groups, and then which reason. Is it because it's group 1 because it's alive, group 1 because it's gray, group 1 because it's heavy, or group 2 because it's alive, group 2 because it's gray, or group 2 because it's heavy? So you're just filling in these these blanks in the sentence. Okay, number 9. Number 9 says, observe the ship shown here. And so they show you a ship that they took a picture of out in the water. It says, which object has a similar relative density to water as the ship? Well, again, if we've forgotten relative density, if we come back here and find, let's see, on this page, talked about relative density, whether matter sinks or floats in water. So if we want to know something that has the same relative density as a ship, let's see. Yeah, which object has a similar relative density to water as the ship? So would it be a still marble, does the same thing that the ship does? Is it a frying pan, would do the same thing that the ship is doing? A beach ball would do the same thing that the ship is doing? Or a bucket of sand is doing the same thing that the ship is doing in the water? Number 10 says, drag the names of these objects in order from coldest to warmest. So we've got 4 different things, and again, they're wanting you to sort them or put them in order from coldest to warmest. Excuse me. So our first thing says water boiling on the stove. The second one says fruit juice from the refrigerator. The third one says toast from the toaster. And the last one says snow on a day in winter. So again, you're ordering them from the coldest item to the warmest or hottest item. So start with the coldest and then work your way a little bit warmer every time until you get to the warmest or the hottest one. Okay, number 11 is another classifying one. It says, Kaylee classifies 6 objects into the 2 groups shown in the table. So we have group 1 over here is a glass marble, a plastic paper clip, and a cardboard box. And then over here in group 2, we have a steel marble, iron filings, and a refrigerator door. And the question says, what other object could be classified into group 2? And then it also wants for you to explain your choice. So we need to think about something that all of these things in group 2 have in common. Now, I can't tell you exactly where to go in your journal or else you'll know the answer. It'd be me giving you the answer. But just know that there are some things in your journal, your science journal, that can help you on this one. So again, we're looking for things that all of these have in common. And then we're going to pick one other thing, just anything you can think of, that would also fit in the same category right here. Okay, these last few are just definition questions. So all of these, I'll go ahead and show you right now. All of these are going to be found in the Mystery Tower vocabulary chart. So these right here, I'm using these words. So just know that your answer is here for sure. Could be other places too, but it's for sure there. So question number 12 says, Blank is a characteristic of matter that can be observed or measured. Again, blank is a characteristic of matter that can be observed or measured. Okay, number 13. It says blank is whether matter sinks or floats in water. I want to know what term does that describe. Again, blank is whether matter sinks or floats in water. Number 14, blank is whether matter is a solid, liquid, or gas. Again, blank is whether matter is a solid, liquid, or gas. And then our last one, blank is whether matter is blank is whether matter is attracted to a magnet or not. So we get just another definition question, guys. Blank is whether matter is attracted to a magnet or not.